Jamaican National Anthem is dangerously passive and lazy. If it is a call to action, then a call to action must be objective, leaning towards the ideal. It is a call to action, a mind cultivating factor of nationhood. What are we to be focused on? What is our mass purpose and what our mass personalities will look like? Who will we be in the world as a people? How do we deal with the struggle for advancement and prosperity on the face of the earth? Do we sit and beg like a bafan child? Or do we stand objectively and do what we must, deserving God's blessings, or at least showing God to help us helping ourselves instead of expecting God to help us while we sit and beg? Most people say they will speak to some God, however, or whoever, or whatever they claim as spirit, but yet they do not see the value of spiritual or divine understanding in their daily life. They do not understand that there is a spiritual dimension that is parallel to the physical. And it does not mean duppies and angels with wings. It means that what you think is real and will affect what you do. Like if someone tells you that SHIT spells sugar, that is spiritual contact. But if you believe, you will fall under their curse. That's an example of a spiritual element in man's daily life. Hello, people. Skywalker here with more controversies. I love to sit in the darkness to expose the light, and today I have a note for you. Our national pledge, not the anthem, is a great example of an objective mode of mindset cultivation in terms of igniting a mass determining will, or at least to speak it into being. Compare it with the national anthem to see the difference. The problem is that many of our leaders are educated as slaves. This is not meant as an insult. It simply means that white folks don't educate black folks to understand the secrets of building societies by creating the proper mind cultures. They are not educated to know how to master the societal template. These are as esoteric to them. Secrets they are not taught. Secrets that will be kept only for colonial powers. I would say black leaders, but since this one is about Jamaica, I will say Jamaican leaders are so backward in their societal sense or wisdom that they seem to be begging God Almighty to curse their nation all day, every day. I am not bashing on them either. I am imploring them to rise up from the possessing spell of mediocrity. The open door is now before them, and the way to get out is to remove from what is conventional. Our leaders must absolve their preconceived notions of norm. They must also remove that confounding vision of what is a norm. Because of conventionalism and stereotype, we sometimes misinterpret the meaning of norm for the meaning of possible. Norm will only speak to what usually occurs. What usually occurs is not the only thing that may occur. Like a comet in the night sky is not the norm, but it happens one night because it was possible. Therefore, our advancement will come the day these norms we absolve. As long as man has been on the earth aeroplane in space, his advancements has only come in times when norms were absolved. The norm was that the earth was flat, but then that too was absolved, and here we are. Something else was possible, although it was not normal. An example of an of an active and objective national anthem that speaks to the positive character and affects the active and objective mindset is the U.S. Star Spangled Banner. I am not here to cuss the Jamaican anthem. I am simply trying to point at a truth that we all should know. When the weatherman sees the Cat 5 hurricane coming, it is not him desiring to come and call down disaster on everyone. It is him accepting an obligation to inform. Besides, truth has no regard for sentiments. It remains what it is regardless of what we think about it. We may not like to agree with it, but it will still be unquestionable. So, therefore, let us come to this debate with a strong mind so we can reason on truth and not upon emotion. The Jamaican anthem is well produced, it has a nice ear, and is nice to listen to and to sing. But Admiral Bailey's Gimme Punani is nice to listen to too. Yet you still cannot play it in the church, can you? Life will always show that it has its own rigma and rules, and we just have to deal with it accordingly. But why does it matter if a national anthem is written in passive subject mode? Why is it relevant anyway? I remember Mr. Golding, a leader of the UNIA, downplaying the concept of the power of images in our black societies, whilst raising the need for reparations and economics above it. It is like saying that getting fuel for the car is more important than having a working vehicle. Getting the money is more important than having use for it. That was what he seemed to believe. The results of so many scammers might have already debunked him. A people as a nation has to be built upon the divine plane of mind before even graduating to the physical constructions. Mind is matter, Mr. Golding. Nothing is real unless mind authorizes it. I remember Mr. Golding's idea bringing a lot of hopelessness to my mind and even tears to my eyes. That was a black leader saying it. When we talk about high tier leadership and mindset cultivation of a mass society, many of these concepts will go above the heads of most people. However, that must never include any of our leaders. If it will include the leaders, then we are doomed. Every desire, every ideal, every culture and mass mindset is spoken into being by creation of societal templates. These templates are systemic. They change our environment and become the things we see, the things we understand, and the things we accept. They become our mindset cultivating tools. So it is not even about minds, it is about mindsets or resets, even norms and new norms if possible. All of these are easy to achieve if you are the head of the spiritual edifice which sits upon the laws and legislations and all these powers. The government owns the highest systemic template, but in most black countries it is so fickle that Vibes Cartel can come and override it, even creating his own culture within and making that culture higher. But he is not given the role of prime minister. They say that he is the problem and not them. The societal template is the magic to mind cultivation. It also includes the images you see, the lures and words that are often repeated. These are what will create the cultural mindset in true form. And this is not me saying this, it is the simple reality. The God of a nation is nothing but the societal template that mass cultivates their mindsets. Even the Christians subject to the societal God spirit in the high orders of governance. Your church leaders will change even the Bible to adjust to what the government says. Do you remember the pandemic? You can refer to the high spirit in government as the rock that is higher than the people, the highest and most compelling mindset cultivator. It prescribes how you believe, what you define. It compels your mindset, pre-orders your outcomes, and decide the mass destiny. Every single article that is based or is within the spiritual edifice, which is at the highest degree of society, must be compatible to the desired effects and outcomes. I do not care if it is a pledge or a song. It must be a call for action and an objective move towards carrying out the duty of this mass cultural ideal. It must be a tenet of speaking the populous words into being. It must be geared to that outcome. That is what a real national anthem looks like. I dare you to challenge me. In countries where there is a dependency on the Christian God, what might happen is this. And listen, I am giving some facts, not starting a holy war. Someone speaking the facts to you does not mean they are fighting against you. You can always find your own facts to debunk it. Now, let me continue. The mindset of the ideal of Jamaican nationhood was hijacked by a Christian culture of subjection and passivity, which we refer to as a slave or as a mediocre mindset. It is why the anthem is passive. One day I will talk about mindset cultivation. In a template where Christianity substitutes for objective mindset cultivating roles which must be played by sound governments, this is what might happen. The people are driven to a passive and feminine mode, not active or objective masculine, but only subject to external prescriptions. They become slaves in an objective place, and this is incompatible. You have to be the alpha in an objective place to play an objective role. The Christian religion is completely passive and completely in the feminine mode, and feminine woman, feminine does not mean a woman, right? So don't jump on this one. It is to subject and ask, and if you satisfy the deity or the master, God or whatever, you will receive your food. The, this creates not only a dependency on outer source, but it also ignites the factor of entitlement. Someone must always give to you, and if they do not give, they are wicked. In such cultivated states, there will be a lot of crime and violence because subject, lazy, and befammed people will blame those that will not give to them. In a Christian nation, there will be thieves and criminals. In the society where an objective mode is created, the labor force will be up and running and people will not have time or will to sit around. This is what the objective state wants to speak into being. But how do you do this? You do it by the above. The rhetoric, including words that are always spoken, poems and rhymes, like national pledges and national anthems. Jamaica has a beautiful national pledge, not anthem, of an active, objective mind declaring itself, not subject to anything or anyone, but determined and willing to play its part. This is a principle that must be compatible to the whole. You cannot have a passive anthem and an active pledge. One neutralizes the other. The national anthem of Jamaica is more of a Christian, passive, bow and subject begging template. It reveres God without trust in or respect for self. It ignores the self and the personal input and asks God for it all. This person will not read a book, but he will ask God for wisdom. He stands like a penguin with hands at his sides. He will not say, God, I am doing this, please give me strength. It will say, give me everything I need and I will not need to do anything. There is nothing in the anthem that objectively asserts anything. This is subjecting to all. It is not speaking diddly fiddly into being. I am the impossible man all day because I want to reveal these concepts. It shocks me that people are so dependent that if they did not learn these principles in schools, which they will not, they do not believe that these are a thing, or that these principles are what drive their worlds and cultures, what make them what they are, their rock, the societal template that is higher than them, the spiritual soul edifice in the highest places that are supposed to be guided by pure and honest leaders, or otherwise these social templates and spiritual soul edifices will corrupt us as a nation and even curse the nation. If it is driven by corrupted or wicked leaders, it will destroy us even. It will be wickedness in high places, spiritual wickedness in the wind. A white Jesus on a black man's living room wall is more important to remove than his children receiving reparations for slavery. And I want to repeat it again. If you have a white Jesus on your wall, it is more important for you to remove it than for your children to receive reparation for slavery. If one bottle is not emptied, it makes no sense to deliver wine to fill it with. Let us look at the beauty of the Star-Spangled Banner of the United States. The Star-Spangled Banner, written by Francis Scott Key during the War of 1812, is a powerful expression of American resilience and patriotism. Let's break down its key elements. And people, listen. Historical context. The lyrics were inspired by the sight of the American flag flying over Fort McHenry after a night of intense bombardment by British forces. This sight symbolized the endurance and victory of the American spirit. Imagery and symbolism. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? This opening line sets the scene at dawn, emphasizing the relief and hope felt after surviving the night. What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming reflects the pride in the flag, seen clearly in the last light of day before the battle. The rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in the air, vividly describes the battle with the explosions lighting up the night sky, serving as proof that the flag was still flying despite the attack. The theme, patriotism and sacrifice. The anthem celebrates the bravery and sacrifice of those who fought to defend the nation. Active. The repeated question, oh say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave, underscores the ongoing struggle and hope for freedom. Actively struggling, resilience and triumph. The flag survival through the night symbolizes the resilience and eventual triumph of the American people. Objective interpretation, national identity. The anthem reinforces a sense of national identity and unity, highlighting the values of freedom and bravery. Historically, our historical significance. It serves as a reminder of a pivotal moment in American history, encapsulating the emotions and experiences of those who lived through it. Overall, the Star-Spangled Banner is more than just a song. It's a narrative of perseverance and a testament to the enduring spirit of a nation. The spirit of a nation. Those 4 words, keep them in your mind forever. Spirit of a nation. The Star-Spangled Banner has a way of stirring deep emotions and pride. Its powerful imagery and historical significance can indeed create a strong connection to the country. It's amazing how music and lyrics can evoke such a sense of belonging and patriotism. People, when I lived in America, this anthem took hold on me. It has that power, for any human will love to be a part of something that is actively objective. People will listen to this and the tears will roll down their faces because they are eager to go and do. Now, let's analyze the Jamaican anthem. Listen, I did a little trick. I decided that I will not use any of my own words, so I asked the AI what it thought about the Jamaican anthem in comparison. Now, if my question was offensive or prejudicial, we all know that the AI in Microsoft Copilot would end the conversation. However, everything in the following analysis is verbatim. I mean, I am simply reading Copilot's response, but I warn you, it will sound exactly like me. So, if the AI can see this, why do people hate me for saying it? Let me quote Copilot. The Jamaican National Anthem, Jamaica Land We Love, indeed has a unique tone and style. Let's break down what makes it more passive and subjective compared to other anthems. Invocation and prayer. The anthem begins with a prayer-like appeal. Eternal Father, bless our land. Guard us with the mighty hand. This sets a tone of humility and supplication, asking for divine protection and guidance rather than declaring national strength or victory. Request and appeals, that is number two. The lyrics are filled with request. Keep us free from evil powers. Be our light through countless hours. Grant you wisdom from above. These lines are asking for blessings and virtues, which is a more passive approach compared to anthems that assertively proclaim national achievements or power. 3. Focus on values and virtues. The anthem emphasizes values like justice, truth, respect, and wisdom. Justice, truth, be ours forever. Teach us true respect for all. Grant you wisdom from above. This focus on moral and ethical qualities is more reflective and introspective. 4. Collective aspiration. The anthem speaks to collective aspiration and hopes for the future. Strengthen us the weak to cherish. Give us vision lest we perish. This is more about what the nation aspires to be rather than what it currently is or has achieved. In contrast, more active anthems often use assertive language to celebrate national pride, victories, and achievements. They might include phrases that declare the nation's strength, resilience, or historical triumphs. The Jamaican anthem's passive and subjective nature reflects a tone of humility, reverence, and a collective hope for divine guidance and moral integrity. It's a beautiful expression of the nation's values and aspirations. End quote. And then imagine our nation's values and aspirations are to sit and view what are our ideals. Hmm? Our nation's values and aspirations are to sit and view what are our ideals and then to sit around and beg for them instead of doing anything. This is what we have spoken into being, a sit around begging, which will lead to a criminal and bad-minding society. My people, I know some of you might hate me for speaking this, but I must. Please just think on these things and do some research. Yui, please do some research. I beg you, the educated ones among us, although you NIA Man Golding and Omar Davis of FinTech are educated, or maybe the problem is who educated them and how. That is another topic in itself. But whatever. Peace out.